What's going on, guys? It's your boy Johnny, back with another one, riding around on my lovely Extreme Bull Rocket. I'm absolutely in love with this wheel. This thing is phenomenal, guys. The sync pads, absolutely at home. Don't need any additional fairings or space. I haven't redone the wires that are dangling in the back there. If you end up getting one of these things, it's not going to be this way from the box. The demo riders before me, they just didn't like the way the red lights look, so they unplugged the wires and then they left the wires dangling, and that's just why it looks like that. I'm lazy, I haven't fixed it, so that's on me. But riding around on the Extreme Bull Rocket, it's got 100 millimeters of travel. It's a 168 volt system. It's a screaming beast of a wheel. This thing will go every bit of 50 plus miles an hour. I've had it as high as 48 and a half miles an hour at 65% PWM. So for what it's worth, I mean, this thing will absolutely boot and commute. It's the fastest wheel in its class by any measure. If you end up wanting an Extreme Bull Rocket, or really any other EUC that you see out there fishing around, you can definitely get that taken care of by Rob Thale over at Next Gen Mobility and his team of lovely agents and gentlemen and ninjas and that. So I get online today and I see this Facebook post. We've heard about it, but as it turns out, Begode has been cooking. So they bring out a wheel that's called the Race. It's a 20-inch wheel, 3,800 watt hour, 210 volts. That's big, 210 volts. It's one of the first 210 volt to hit the market, so this is huge. 50S batteries, 5,000 watt high-speed motor. This thing has broke the land speed record right now for electric unicycles. There was rumors, and I even thought the guys in Russia had did it faster, but that was wheel speed, that wasn't GPS. So the GPS speed on the Begode Race is going to make it the absolute fastest wheel that's out right now. 48 MOSFETs, that means that you've got a lot more stability for the power that's going in and out of that machine. Front and rear contour light, smart BMS, 20 amp fast charging, and at this point in time, I would believe them. At one point in time, that 20 amp fast charging felt like it was a suspiciously dangerous thing, but I definitely believe them. Hot melt tubeless tire. So a hot melt tire is going to be a whole lot more sticky. It's going to provide a lot more traction off the single cord of traction that you get with a traditional street tire. We've got an IP rating at IP67. The Velcro pads, of course, we've been had that. Pad-free angle adjustment, spike pedals. They've been dope lately, guys. Those Begode pedals, actually, they've been dope for a little while. Brighter headlight, looks like mid-mounted suspension system, encapsulated dampening spring suspension, bi-directional dampening, lightweight, sturdy, 80 millimeters. So I don't exactly know what that means. So we're seeing all the stats, and obviously people are going to go crazy. I mean, we have the tubeless rim that people have been wanting for so long. We actually have a wheel that can pretty well sustain 50 miles an hour just like indefinitely. I mean, there's no reason not to fall in love with this wheel. Every single thing about the aesthetic, every single thing about the way that the wheel is manufactured has been in production for a little while. So this is a platform that has been refined and worked up to. So guys, I had to check out for myself and see what was right and see what was behind the link. And so, I mean, I had to verify. I know you did. I had to check it out. So let's go to their website and see what the stat sheet says. So I click on the link, and sure as the sky is blue, the Begode Race is there. And it is there, not just there in kind of I was excited, right, off of the way that the Facebook post presented it. But holy crap, when you see this, when you see that it's actually real, when you see that this 20-inch, 5,000 watt motor, bad to the bone, 3,800 watt hour battery, 50S gnarly, mind carving, super fast, just crazy monster of a wheel, when you see that it's there, dudes, this is going to do something different for the entire community. I am not thrilled about the hooligans who are going to take this wheel and they're going to try to push 70 miles an hour inside of their communities where that sort of speed is not welcome on legal vehicles, on traditional modes of transportation. So I am not excited for those people. But those people are already giving us problems on different wheels. This wheel is no different. I do not feel like this wheel is going to be the problem. What you guys tell me though, like let's open up this dialogue, because traditionally I might have been like, I don't know if people need this wheel, but honestly, with or without this wheel, people are out there acting a straight hooligan, no regard for people's safety. And I don't think it's going to be the wheel that makes or breaks that conversation. This wheel, I do feel, for majority of people, is going to make riding a lot safer. I feel like this wheel is an upgrade from what we had for the Master platform. I feel like this is the new Master, right? I feel like this is the new standard for what we will be expecting from speed. So to that, I feel like Begode really has rang the victory bell here by presenting a 210 volt system that goes as fast as it does. The efficiency is going to be staggering. That means, like I said, long range. It means faster speeds. It means safer riding, really. As long as you're not a person committed to trying to break the law anyway, this is going to be a safer riding vehicle, right? So let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of these closer pictures of it, because guys, honestly, they have really knocked it out of the park with this one. I am very impressed with pretty much every facet. And towards the end, we're going to get into why I think that this move from Begode is actually going to save the EUC space in a couple of places. So stick around. We're going to talk about that as well. So the first thing that we see is this familiar front and the headlight, as well as the kind of ambient lighting, the LED lighting that they have there, the RGB or whatever. And so we see this. It's been carried over from the Blitz. It's been carried over to the Panther. It's been kind of their stock in trade for a little while. And while a lot of people will poo-poo the plastic, I really feel like plastic components at impact points are really a better suited material, just because it saves the internals from that aggressive vibrational shock. I personally think that this gives Batman. This really looks refined. I love that little U kind of etching in the side, just past the Begode logo, just above the pads there. So there's like the Begode logo, and just to the back of that, there's this cool little it almost looks like an air vent, kind of like the shark fins on the old BMW Z3 used to look. The kickstand, it looks serviceable. It's plastic, but it does look like it's going to work. I mean, when we're talking about trying to save weight, when we're talking about trying to keep the costs down, then you really got to think about points like this where, okay, is this really a load-bearing point? When this wheel is down at an angle, when this wheel is setting down back on its side, how much weight is this plastic component bearing? Do you care that in a ride something like this, if it goes ass over tea kettle, may potentially break? Or are you happier to see that these components will break off and they will be easily replaceable, instead of creating these jagged metal stabbing points, which honestly I've seen what happens when the old Begode kickstand goes ass over tea kettle and hits you. It is aggressive. It is bad. So this is a welcome adjustment. I like it. What do you think? Next, we see this little front bumper bottom end right by the tire, which looks amazing. I really think this is going to be an amazing tire for street riding. Super duper smooth, going to be able to handle the corners extraordinarily well. The thing that I will say is that the battery boxes do look a little bit big for the profile of the tire. It does seem like if you impact the front of the tire, compression is going to oblige that the front corners of this this aesthetic to impact. And bear in mind that what you're seeing right now is the absolute highest that those boxes, that those little corners, those little bumpers of the battery boxes that are lit up with the RGB there, that's the highest that they're going to be. When you step on this wheel, those corners are going to come down a little bit more, which means that they are going to be present more forward in the tire compression profile. So if you like to go upstairs and things like that, keep in mind, while this thing has more than enough torque to do it, the physical profile of it might not let it go up steep stairs. You'll be perfectly fine on those really shallow type stairs, but steep stairs, this might have a problem. Still, I like the aesthetic. Again, anybody else think it gives Batman? So here we could see the suspension, the adjustment parts anyway of the suspension as it's kind of embedded there right in the middle of the wheel, right in between the battery packs. That's what we're looking at right here. Now, that means that we've got compression on one side and then probably rebound on the other. That's normally how that sort of thing works. What are your guys' thoughts? I honestly hope that we have a really good suspension from them at this point in time. I mean, we've been patient with Begode. We've been very patient with Begode while they tried to figure out what kind of suspension defines them as a company. And, going through a lot of different iterations of, the rear-mounted angle shock, and then now we've got this mid-mounted system, which feels like an adaptation, sort of what they had going on over at Extreme Bull. And so maybe they're standing on the giant shoulders of their giant little brother's shoulders. What do you guys think? What do you think the suspension is going to feel like? And if you've ridden the Panther, then let us all know. How does it compare to something that most of us have ridden, like the Leaperchem ecosystem? Like, how does it compare to a Fast Ace? You can't help but be impressed when you see this whole thing as a package. It looks absolutely mind-boggling. Even the stock pads, it all looks so well put together. Almost the kind of vent things that are coming off of the back of the wheel by the lighting on either side. Those fins kind of tie in with the fins that are coming off the back of the pads, and the hollow recesses in the pads really tie into the way that the angles of the kickstand pop for you, in the way that the angles, the recesses of the bumpers on the front and the back kind of pop for you. So you've got this really nice industrial, modern, and again, I'm going to lean on this industrial modern Batman sort of look. The pedals look absolutely nice from this angle. Maybe we can get a better picture of them from a different angle, but from the back, man, that carbon fiber fender, it looks amazing. All of this, amazing. Guys, I really think that Begode has come to the table with something that is going to definitely change the baseline of where we see EUCs and how we see EUCs. All of the things that you see here have been refined through several generations of wheel, and that it's awesome to see, because it builds a lot of confidence. It gives uber confidence in the way that this wheel is going to run. You know that this is going to be a highly sought after wheel. There's going to be tons of volume of this wheel in the whole EUC space. Because of that, you are going to have tons and tons of after parts, after service care. This wheel is going to change the way EUC racing happens. It's going to make it so that a lot of the tracks that I've seen EUC races happen on, to me, it's been kind of whack. And I know everybody hates me for this, but it's been kind of whack because they're designed for cars. They're designed for bigger vehicles. So the terminal velocity of the track is designed for something that's capable of far greater speeds than what we're capable of on an EUC. And then if you scale it down to like the little kart GP tracks, then you start coming into obfuscations where you really need to match a wheel size diameter for the size of the track that you're riding on. And so it just really hasn't felt good. This is going to be the wheel that equalizes what it means to race on an electric unicycle. And I think that we're going to see some of the most exciting racing in the next couple of years as a result of the baseline that the Begode Race has set. That said, the industrial nook and cranny look of these pads, it's just, I'm super duper impressed with what they did. I mean, the front bumpers tie into the way that the pads look. The back kickstand ties into the way that the pads look. This might be a wheel that you may consider keeping the stock pads on just by virtue of how tight of a package Begode has made with this device. Really feels like this is a thick boy. I mean, when you scale back the pads that are there on the sides, it's not so thick, but it does seem like it is going to be a thick boy for a 20-inch wheel. I am very, very, very impressed. Again, the front of this wheel, it just looks so aggressive, so assertive. The lines are industrial, but like contemporary, and just when I say it now, you're going to see it really, really, really clear. But the way that the angle of the lights come up in the front create those two pointed ears that just scream Batman. Like the front of this wheel looks like a Batman cowl. So that's where I get that imagery from, and that's why I keep on going back to it. But this is just a solid piece of kit, guys. Like if you're looking for a wheel that is going to be safe, that will run for a very long time, that is going to be absolutely staggering on the street, and I wouldn't take this on the trail, but as far as the street and the track, this thing is going to kick so much butt. When you get to see it from this position, you have a little bit better idea of what I'm talking about as far as the battery boxes. So you see the little front bumper on the battery boxes, the blue light that kind of dips down into the middle of where the tire seats, of like the tire's diameter, that's kind of right there. Now, that part is going to be lower when you step onto the electric unicycle. You're going to lower the battery boxes into a place where any compression of the front of the tire will cause impact. And that is something that, to me, points at the utility of the wheel. This is not meant for a lot of the aggressive, stair climbing sort of stuff, bonking, curbs at it's not meant for a whole lot of aggressive vertical travel. Not to say that it can't climb to infinity and beyond, but it is not meant to take bumps in the front. It is just not that wheel. That said, if you are looking for that crazy, crazy over-the-top wheel, man, this Batman Buster has got you covered in so many ways. You guys know me. I am pretty well in love with InMotion as a company. The fact that they've got so many data points collectible inside of the battery, inside of the motherboard, inside of the motor, just means that the firmware is going to be so good, so juicy, because they just have so many data collection points. But that's their contribution. And I only preface with that because when I tell you that Begode has, in one fell swoop, saved EUCs in 2025, I am here to tell you they did that. By virtue of the fact that they presented such a high power wheel, such a high speed wheel, with a price point that crushes the original price point of the debut Master. So they have brought us a wheel that is faster than their OG flagship wheel. And while inflation remains a thing, while tariffs remain a thing, in the midst of all of this uncertainty and craziness, Begode has put their hand, their foot, their mind down and said no. And whether this is meant to take all of the EUC purchases that were supposed to happen in 2025 and relegate them to the Begode ecosystem, if they do that, with this wheel, they can very well lock out 100% of the purchases of electronic unicycles for the rest of the year. Hear me well when I say that. There are people who have purchased other wheels at this point in time that they felt were going to be the fastest wheels and the fastest wheels for a little while. Now, they're definitely not. This wheel's on the block. A lot of other wheels have lost their value. The fact that this wheel comes in at $2,400, guys. I say that through gritted teeth. the fact that this wheel comes in at this price completely breaks the entire system. You can't sell your EXN for $2,000. You can't sell your Master Pro for $2,500. You can't do any of that funny business at this point in time because a brand new wheel costs $2,400. Guys, Begode is the hero we did not ask for, but we needed, and they came through. It's funny to me because I see a lot of price, reminders, Love in Motion, but you got an ad that they have running around right now where it says, buy right now, the prices are going up, and no, they're not. They're not. They're not moving. In Motion won't dare do it. They can't. They can't raise their prices. The prices are going down. How about that? Across the board. Begode just wrecked the whole game. Guys, they came in faster. They came in more refined. They came in with a tighter, better package. These people have been cooking. And my God, does it taste like cake. Like big, thick, juicy cake. Whew. Guys, I want to know what you think about the Begode Race and how it's going to impact the EUC ecosystem. This is a great time to be alive. So excited. And if you want the Begode Race, you can visit Next Gen Mobility, but Begode has got you locked in at a great price right now. So check out Next Gen Mobility. Check out Begode Direct. I don't get money from Begode or whatever. I do get a little kickback from Next Gen, and Rob's great people. So if you want to support Rob, that's the way to be, man. Anyway, we'll talk soon. I got an epic video coming of the Arrow versus the Rocket, but I had to get on top of this ASAP. I know you guys wanted to know what I thought about it, and so here we go. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll talk soon. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Like, subscribe, follow. Like, subscribe, follow. Boom, ba 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 ba.